Yaksha, a Sanskrit word used to define a class of natural spirits, very similar to the Orishas of Yoruba beliefs or the Nettars of North African beliefs. They are very prevalent in Hindu, Buddhist, and Jainist beliefs, and it is said that Kubera, who is the god of wealth and prosperity, is the king of the Yakshas. He is also regarded as the regent of the north and one of the main protectors of the world. Now, the Yakshas themselves are typically very benevolent beings, but they sometimes can be mischievous or capricious, similar to aspects of Ishu from Yoruba beliefs. They are always connected with water, fertility, trees, the forest, treasure, and wilderness. And while they appear throughout folklore, they're also included in many of the sacred texts, and they're included in many of the temples in the medieval era of South Asia and Southeast Asia, typically seen as guardian deities, which would be a prevalent theme for them. But there is a duality to these particular beings. While the Yakshas are seen to be, for the most part, inoffensive and nature fairy type creatures associated with the woods and the mountains, there's also a darker version of them, and these Yakshas, who are more aggressive and far crueler, are often seen as ghosts, and it's said they haunt the wilderness and waylays and devour unsuspecting travelers. But the influence of the Yakshas is extremely high, particularly in areas of India during the Maurya Empire. There were several monuments built to specifically these creatures, and these are considered to be the first monuments. They date as far back as the 3rd century, probably ending around the 1st century BCE. They're very tall structures, typically about 2 meters in height, and often bear inscriptions either describing the deity, him or herself, or sacred words that would call upon them. They are very important in Thailand as well, being a central theme in their temple art and architecture, where they are again placed as guardians at the gateways. And in most of the country, these were developed around the 14th century. Now later, ceramic sculptures would be prevalent in that area from the 14th to the 16th century, and they were sold all around the world. Their depictions changed slightly during that time, as they were often seen with big round bulging eyes and protruding fangs, as well as a greenish complexion. Now, the Yakshas and their female counterparts are extremely prevalent in Buddhist literature of Thailand, such as some very famous stories like the 12 Sisters and the Pra-Afhimana. They are still seen in a negative light in some ways, portrayed as ogres, giants, and ogresses, but still remain seen as guardians and helpful, positive figures throughout the region.